What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about two different things. We're going to be talking about grammar again, and we're going to be talking about biology again. So we'll kick things off first with grammar. Today in grammar, we're going to be talking about irregular verbs, and we're going to be talking about different perspectives of verbs, like past tense and third person, first person, singular. We'll get to it. So first, we're going to be talking about irregular verbs. So irregular verbs are just different verbs. I have an example of an irregular verb here. So an irregular verb would be the word run. Run is just its standard form, but its past tense form will be ran. Its future tense form will be will run, and its what is it? Hold on. And its present tense form is running. The reason it's irregular is because whenever you change its tense, the whole word itself kind of changes except for future tense. In future tense, you just add will in front of it. For present tense, you add ing at the end, and for past tense, you have ran, like you have an instead. So I have a little chart here. If you can see it. See if you can see it. I don't really know if you can see it real well, but that's my chart. I'll explain what it is. So these are the perspectives. So I had our first person, third person singular, plural person, first person past, and plural past. So the verbs I have are be, have, do, and say. So the first person for be is the first person form for be is I am. The first person form for have is I have. The first person form for do is I do. The first person form for say is I say. Now we'll move on to third person. So third person singular. So when you talk about third person, you're talking about somebody. You're talking about somebody. So the third person form for be is she is. The third person form for have is she has. The third person form for do is she does, because it's something she is doing. The third person form for say is she says. You're just adding she in front of all of it. It can be the same way with he, but you're just talking about that one person. So next we'll be talking about next one is plural person. So you're talking about multiple people. So for this, we'll add we before it. So for be, it's we are. For have, it's we have. If you want to do past tense, I'll get to past tense actually. For do, it's we do, and for say, it's we say. And now for first person past, for first person, like I said, you'll just add I in front of it because you're talking about yourself. And you won't say me, you'll say I. So you have I was, I had, I did, and I said. Last one is going to be plural past. So you're talking about multiple things in the past. So for be, we have we were, because we're talking about we as in multiple people and were as in past. For have, you had we had, so we again is in plural and had is in past. Do is we did, because did is the past tense for do. And say is we said, because said is the plural version, or is the past tense version of say. Sometimes too, when it comes to certain words, you can sometimes add a pt at the end of the verb to make it past tense, such as the word slept or sleep. You can take away an e and put pt at the end, and you'll have the past tense version of sleep, which is slept. Gosh, I'm on one today. All right, second subject and our last subject is going to be biology. So when it comes to biology, we're going to be talking about elements and atoms. For an element, there are three states of an element. There is a solid, a liquid, and a gas. A solid would be like my shoes. My shoes are a solid. Liquid would be, I don't have any liquid on me, but it'd be like just water. And a gas is like the air. So, An element is a pure substance, just a pure substance of a certain thing. Some examples of elements are gold, carbon, and lead. Those are 3 I can think of. Anything really on the periodic table of elements too is also an element. The periodic table is really going to help a lot in this biology course. The most basic unit of an element is an atom. It's also the smallest unit of an element. It is the smallest compound you can break down an element into without it changing its form, without it changing its element. Like I said, an atom is extremely small, like microscopic. You can't even see an atom. A proton defines an atom. Okay, so if you look at the periodic table of elements, you have an atomic number above your element that you're talking about. Such as hydrogen, the very first one is 1. There's a 1 above it. That 1 displays the amount of that atomic number displays the amount of protons that are in that atom. So for a hydrogen atom, you have 1 proton in that element. And for what's next? I can't remember. The second one, I forgot what it is already. But there's a 2 above it, and that is 2 protons in that element. So, an electron, we'll also be talking about electrons and neutrons. And electrons and neutrons also make up the center of an atom, or the nucleus of an atom, the core. You cannot change the number of protons. You cannot change the number of protons in an atom, or in an element. If you try and change the number of protons in an element, it will just switch into a whole other different element. I'll get a little bit into another thing. I'll talk about proteins real quick. So, proteins are known as a compound that builds muscle. Builds muscle on you. They're kind of a best friend, to athletes, because athletes are always trying to get bigger and stronger, get faster, that type of thing. But proteins, like I said, proteins make up elements that build muscle, and that's okay. So that pretty much wraps up all I have for you guys today. So take care, God bless, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.